On September 24th through the 26th, we'll be on board the Apollo, and you are invited for this very special two-day trip. It is limited to only 21 anglers, includes all meals, and should be fantastic. This is when we have our best weather months in the fall, and the Apollo, they've been on their game this year. Outstanding fishing and really nice weather. Then, we're going to switch over to the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California for another two-day adventure. October 6th through the 8th should be another great trip. Tanner, Cortez Bank, and anywhere else the fish are. Don't forget, text me at 657-227-6459 to get on board the Apollo and or the Amigo. Best weather months of the year, and hopefully lots of fish for you to catch. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This absolutely lovely Thursday morning. So great of you to spend some time with me. I deeply appreciate it. Man, there's a lot going on. We're going to go south of the border. We'll check out the long-range scene in Ensenada and some other areas also. Tanner Bank, Cortez Bank. Are those bluefin tuna back on the bite? Oh, my goodness, are they ever? Really great fishing going on. We've got some really good local fishing in San Diego. And the Coronado Islands had a friend there yesterday, Matt Schlurf. He was so impressed by the foamers of bluefin and the yellows that were bouncing around the islands. We're going to cover all of that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, my God. That is so good, and it is so good of you to be here with us. I deeply appreciate when you hit that like button. It means the world to us. Share these videos with a friend and subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to tick the little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. You can follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. A lot more content there for you. Also, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget, if you have tax problems, to give Tim Marquez a call this very moment. Tim will unravel your tax problems and you'll be able to get a good night's sleep. And if you're having heating and or air conditioning needs, call John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Sam De La Torre did it at Island Fishing Tackle, and he said, top-notch service. All right, let's jump into it. We'll go south of the border, and we want to check out, of course, the beautiful coastal town of Ensenada, Baja, California. It's a 70-mile drive south of the border. Beautiful drive, by the way. You go by the Coronado Islands and stop for a fish taco. Don't let me get carried away on all of that. I can talk forever about the Baja hospitality and the great times I've had down there for the past 60 or so years of spending time in Mexico Lindo. Really good fishing offshore. That bluefin tuna bite. Some days they bite and some days they don't. But lately it's been really, really good fishing. Mostly, I want to say 15 to 40 pound bluefin tuna. Every once in a while you'll get one that's a little bit bigger than that. Trolled Mad Mac lures have been effective. Also throwing a little dart jig, you know, like the Colt Sniper or the Daiwa Sakana. Those have been very effective on those fish. Some popper fish, some surface ironfish, Tatty 45 mint color that use on yellows for the most part. Man, that's been effective also. It's been good fishing offshore there. Hopefully it's going to continue. A couple of yellowfin tuna sprinkled in there every once in a while. We're watching that for you closely. Also, inshore, we have those yellows that are breezing around Punta Banda, also around Todos Santos Island. You get on those bird schools and throw an iron, you can come up with some really nice yellowtail. Yeah, there's some smaller ones. We've seen them as small as 5 pounds, but the vast majority, I want to say, are 12 to 15. Some bigger than that. There's an occasional barracuda flurry, but that's a thing of the past for the most part. Good calico and sand bass fishing. We want to focus on that, and some excellent rock fishing way down the Baja coast. The long range boys are experiencing one of the best long range summertime years they've had in decades. The Independence finishing up along the Baja coast, catching some big calico bass. That's after they've spent, these are 7 and 8 day trips. That's after they've spent time in the yellowfin tuna zone, 50 to 80 pound fish biting wide open. Not only for the Independence, for everybody down there. It's been phenomenal. You can spend time in the wahoo zone where you're likely to come up with 10 to 40 wahoo, sometimes better than that. Really excellent fishing on that. And then the yellowtail bite. Sometimes you're fishing dropper loop at night, and other times you're fly lining during the daytime. It has been a spectacular long-range season, and that is not slowing down one bit. It has been phenomenal fishing. So south of the border, all the way around has been outstanding. You want to go to Catalina Island? Do it on board the El Patron. They run out of Long Beach sport fishing. Limited load, fast boat, great crew, fun experiences, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. If you're headed to the Channel Islands, we love the island spirit. They've got plenty of room for you tomorrow. Getting pretty full for the weekend. So if you want to jump on board the Island Spirit this week, highly recommend you do it tomorrow. VenturaSportFishing.com. You can book online or give them a call at 805-676-3474. All right, let's jump up here and talk bluefin tuna out there on Tanner and Cortez Bank. And I've got to tell you, the light switch is fully back on. Outstanding fishing going on Tanner and Cortez Bank. My dear friend, Daryl Folger. Man, I love Daryl. The Rooster Crow crew. Those guys came by my office at 22nd Street Landing one time, and they did a rooster crow that was second to none. It was a beautiful thing, Daryl. You got to do that again. Anyway, it was on the El Dorado. Limits of bluefin tuna. An absolutely fantastic trip. The fish, Daryl said, we're in the 20 to 60 pound class. They had a phenomenal time on the El Dorado. It's been outstanding, and it's biting here again this morning. I've already talked to a couple of guys who are on to some excellent fishing. The Highliner out of San Diego, a 2.5 day trip. Limits of bluefin tuna, 84 bluefin tuna, 15 yellowtail to go along with it. The Tribute out of San Diego, limits of bluefin tuna, excellent fishing. Davies Locker, Newport Beach, the Thunderbird, 25 anglers, 55 bluefin tuna, 11 yellowtail. This bite is rocking and rolling once again. The weather has come down, and these mostly 10 to 40 pound bluefin tuna, but as Daryl said, 20 to 60 pound. Man, that's the range of the fish. Beautiful grade, really biting well on the 25 pound fluorocarbon, and a good hot bait. And sometimes it was a long soak. In other words, keeping your bait out there for a long time. If you find that really good bait, that bait in the well that's the hardest to catch, sometimes you're going to want to long soak it. And sometimes you're going to go back to the same old change your bait regularly, change your bait, change your luck. And so what I'm asking you to do is be super observant. You're going to see guys getting bit around you if you're not getting bit, and you need to watch what they are doing. It will make all the difference in the world. The yellowtail bite has backed off quite a bit out there, but there's still some good scores on yellows. Sometimes you're dropper looping at night, depends upon your departure time and what time you get out there. If you run to Cortez and have some live squid, you can dropper loop some nice big yellows out there in that neck of the woods. Other times you're catching yellows in the daytime. You'll see them and they're biting right along with the bluefin, mixed up with it. So really exciting, great stuff out there on Tanner and Cortez Bank. If you're not familiar with the geography, it's about a 90 to 100 mile run for most landings in Southern California. I don't know how you can beat it right now. It is outstanding. All right, so we've got that under control. Let's talk islands, and let's talk the Coronado Islands. My dear friend Matt Slurp was on board the Liberty yesterday, and he was sending me messages during the daytime saying, man, there are foamers of bluefin tuna all over this place. Yellows mixed up with it. Really a great show. And they were seeing a ton of fish. Really exciting stuff. Man, I'll tell you, you're on a boat that leaves in the morning. These are full day boats. Comes back that very same evening, and you're catching bluefin tuna, yellowtail. Man, that is something that 40 years ago you would have died for. And now we kind of take it for granted. But let's not do that. What an impressive show. Liberty yesterday, 39 guys, 29 yellowtail, 5 bluefin tuna fishing down there at the south end of South Island. Foamers of bluefin tuna, yellowtail everywhere. Impressive. Impressive. Maybe they don't bite every single day full speed, but you're going to get a heck of a show. 61 yellowtail on board the San Diego yesterday. A nice hit for them, and other boats in on this also. It has been phenomenal. Back to that same tackle almost. 25-pound fluorocarbon will get you a bite. Now, if you can bump up to 30 to 40 pound and get a bite, do it. You want to get a bite on the heaviest line that those little fishies are going to nibble on, because you're going to need it for the pulling power, and the abrasion resistance of fluorocarbon also works. You know, bluefin have teeth. They will saw you. They will bite through the line. So keep that in mind. That is also a very good thing to do. San Clemente Island, good calico bass fishing, rockfish, some yellows, and white sea bass there. Not wide open, but okay. Catalina Island, tons of bonito are biting there right now. Really good bonito fishing, and at times some decent calico bass fishing. Dropping that fluorocarbon down to 15 pound is certainly a great idea and a good way to catch more calico bass. Channel Islands, mostly rockfish up there. A few halibut and white sea bass sprinkled in with it, but it's been a rockfish kind of bite. There's been also a few calico bass and barracuda for some of the guys that focus in on that. But again, mostly rockfish up there in that neck of the wood. Burgess and Morro Bay, Avila Beach, excellent rockfish. A lot of big lings in San Francisco. The boys up there have been putting the hurt on the nice big fat ling cod. It has been spectacular up there for that. There's also some albacore out of Santa Cruz. We've seen that here recently. If you've been following us, you're up to date on that. We've also seen albacore off San Francisco. Really interesting stuff going on this year in Southern California. Hopefully that's all going to continue. Now we'll go down to the border. San Diego is what I'm talking about, where their local fishing this year has been outstanding. It really has been great. Sand and calico bass have been biting, and that sprinkling of white sea bass and yellowtail just adds to the spice of a half-day trip out of San Diego right now, and that is not slowing down. Premier limits of sand bass for those boys. They had great fishing. There was some great calico bass fishing down there. Occasional nice big halibut. The Dolphin has seen that here recently in the new Seaforth, with that sprinkling of sea bass and yellowtail on a fairly regular basis. It has been a really great local year, one to remember for sure. Outstanding fishing there up there around Oceanside, catching some calico bass, a lot of shorts, releasing those, but pretty good action. You have sculpin, whitefish, rockfish to fall back on. Same thing there around the Dana Wharf area. Up here in the LA Orange County area, we go from some pretty good bass fishing, the Victory here recently with some calico bass fishing that's been pretty good, especially on the weekdays when there's less boat pressure, but a lot of sculpin and rockfish still going on here. Boy, I got to tell you, the native sun had those sculpin and rockfish on a spectacular day. It was a beautiful thing to behold as life rolls on. Boarded the native sun for some wonderful memories and really, really special times. My hat's off to everyone who made that day possible and created indelible memories for a lifetime. That's a beautiful thing. It's the power, the beauty of sport fishing. It can appeal to so many different people in so many ways and really make for some special times, whether it's like that trip with Life Rolls On the native sun, or taking your grandson or granddaughter on their first fishing trip, or taking somebody from the inner city who's never seen this beautiful Eastern Pacific, living so close, and showing them what the great outdoors can do to renew your soul. It is such a beautiful thing. What a beautiful time on board the Native Sun with Life Rolls On. Beautiful stuff indeed. Up there in Marina del Rey, a little bit of bass, mostly sculpin and rockfish. We saw the Tortuga the other day with outstanding bass fishing and some halibut. And up in the Channel Islands, we pretty much have covered that. Here on August the 31st, we're going to be surf fishing right here, and you are invited. Come on down and join us. 7:30 in the morning is when we get started. We're a mile south of Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. Drive down to Anderson Street. Park there, PCH and Anderson, park there, big tower, you'll see it, walk out on the beach, hang a right, walk down 10 minutes, you'll find us here at 7:30 a.m. this Saturday morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. The surf fishing has been excellent here. We've seen yellowfin croaker, a little bit of corvina, not too much barb perch, and a variety of different sharks and rays, that kind of stuff. Something to pull on, something for the kids. Even if you don't like to fish and you like coffee and a donut, bring it down, bring your lawn chair, and sit here and enjoy this beautiful Eastern Pacific. And Big Fish Bait and Tackle, we mentioned them a moment ago. You can get 10% off everything in the store this Saturday when you mention Friedman Adventures. You're going to want to stop by there before you drop by here. Make sure you pick up some worms, and that has been an extraordinarily good bait in the surf here recently. That should work really well for you, and it's just going to be a fun day. We're going to go like 7:30 to 10. We're scheduled for 10, but who knows? It might go to 12 noon. The weather's nice and the fish are biting, and we're having a good time. We'll hang out a little bit longer, but 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m., we'll see you here. It should be an extraordinary day, no question about that. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you. I think I need to get up to the hospital. Got a grandson scheduled for today. Bowden is supposed to make his appearance on our rock called Earth here today, and I'm really excited about that. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here with us here this morning. I deeply appreciate that. We'll see you Saturday right here. A couple more days. It's going to be a lot of fun. And by the way, it's a no fishing license required day. State of California grants a couple of those every single year, so you can bring a novice angler who's never done this before, and they don't have to have a fishing license this Saturday morning. We'll see you then. Have a great one. And if I don't see you Saturday, I hope to see you really, really soon.